Up next on Eco Company. It's getting fishy around here.
This is seawater. It's pumped in right from the bay.
It's a visit to an aquarium with some special tour guides.
Plus, get your sea legs ready.
I'm aboard the Derek M. Bayless. Coming up, we're heading out to sea to find out about a big threat to our ocean.
And
you're going to work as a team to get as much of the invasive ice plant away from the shoreline.
What you can do to help save shorelines.
So this car has no engine.
Right, this does not burn any fuel.
Why the fuel coming out of this pump is better for the planet. Hit the road with Eco Company right now.
Hi, welcome to Eco Company.
The show that's taking you to some of the coolest green places on the planet. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Brendan, and today we're hanging out at the Monterey Bay Aquarium along the coast of California.
This place is known all over the world for its conservation efforts, not to mention its amazing exhibits.
Adam and Jordan are already inside checking them out.
Indeed we are, and we found a marine world full of surprises.
Behind us is the entrance to the kelp forest. It's one of the tallest exhibits of its kind in the world.
There are over 35,000 plants and animals here, everything designed to inspire us to conserve our oceans.
I'd say we take a closer look around and meet some of the aquarium's special tour guides.
There are fish, and there are fish. Throw in some jellies, spectacular seahorses, and these wet fur balls, and what do you get? You get the Monterey Bay Aquarium in Monterey, California.
That's an ochre star hanging out on a nice big piece of giant kelp.
Here, visitors learn about ocean life, why it's in trouble, and what we can do about it. And they have some special guides helping them.
On your entire head, you have 100,000 hairs. On 1 square inch, about that big, they have 1 million.
High school students Eric Krieger and Michelle Zill are part of the aquarium's student guide program.
Do you think a whale with teeth like this is going to eat squid? And then when we work on the floor, we try and get people interested, not only about conservation, but also to teach them about the ocean and the animals in it, to get them excited about it.
We have had a student guide program for at least 20 years, if more than that. And they have gained skills and then they have come back. Some of them are on staff. They've been here as a student and kind of through college and come back as staff.
Trisha Moneypenny is an aquarium educator and helps these guys out.
You want to feel some otter fur?
That's what they feel like, Chrissy.
Bet you can guess Michelle's favorite exhibit.
Well, sea otters are actually the first thing that drew me to start working at the aquarium. When I originally visited when I was very little, the otters were my favorite exhibit. I like to say that instead of having a teddy bear, I had a little stuffed otter.
Sea otters play a big role in the marine ecosystem, but the southern sea otter is actually protected as an endangered species.
Plastics, what they do affect are the smallest parts of our ocean, the zooplankton. That's the base of the food web for all animals, and if that goes away, then every animal in the ocean is affected, especially the otters, which are one of our top predators.
Another predator lays in wait here.
So here we are at the kelp forest. So can you tell me about this?
Well, we're actually the first aquarium to ever grow live kelp. As you can see, there are so many animals, and it's just a wonderful place.
Okay, so I see a couple of fish here and they're not really moving. Are they dead?
No, those are rockfish. They're ambush predators, so that means that they stay and pretend like they're dead or asleep, and then when their food swims by, they'll go and get it.
Rockfish are big too. Slow-growing fish like it are on the aquarium's seafood watch list.
Are you interested in the seafood watch card?
Yes, please.
Oh, good.
The seafood watch list is a guide to sustainable choices. Student guide Eric Krieger likes to hang out here.
Basically what we do is we tell people about what fish they should buy to help support the environment more, and which fish they should try and stay away from because their practices aren't done with the environment in mind. So it's basically a guide to eating more ocean friendly. Well, we don't want to eat the avoid fish. We want to try and cut these out of our diet. In the yellow list, we want to try and just limit our consumption. And then the green list, these are the fish we want to try and eat the most of. But again, the yellow, a few minor issues, but overall it's still good.
So which types of fish should we buy? Can you give me one example?
Well, like I said, the salmon from Alaska is a really great choice. Halibut is another great one. Would you like some fish that we should avoid?
Yeah.
Okay, so some fish we should avoid. Atlantic salmon is one that we should not eat. Another one is shark and rockfish. Those are two that we should try and avoid at all costs.
These kids are so great, and it's really exciting to see them expand and grow and learn new things and be those leaders in the future.
It's an experience that these teens won't ever forget.
It has been one of the funnest experiences of my entire life. I've met so many people, I've made so many great new friends, and I've learned so much about the world that I live in, that we all live in, about the marine environment and the animals here. And if anybody has an opportunity like it, I recommend they do it.
Hey guys, we're inside the aviary at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Our fine feathered friends in here live along the sandy shoreline and coastal wetlands.
There are a bunch of conservation efforts underway to protect wetlands around the globe.
A lot are disappearing due to urbanization and farming.
Well, Brendan's met up with a group of young eco-heroes who are doing something about it.
They are eco-warriors ready to do battle. Their mission to protect these shorelines. The place? Point Pinole Regional Shoreline in Richmond, California. And if you can believe it, it's the former home of a gunpowder company. Even today, it's flanked by a huge oil refinery.
It's a lot of stuff going wrong in the pollution and the water, and it's a lot of stuff that's affecting us as humans, so this can be a good change since us as youth are helping.
She's taking part in a program called Teen Eco Action Week, run by the East Bay Park Service. Bethany Facciandini is a naturalist here.
As a naturalist, I connect people with the environment and lead natural and cultural history walks and other types of programs like camping excursions, backpacking, camps, restoration projects.
A restoration project is just what happens to be in order during our visit. First up, a lesson about just what wildlife they're protecting.
This particular animal thrives in the salt marsh here.
Today we are going to be doing a black rail habitat restoration project. The black rail is a threatened species that lives in salt marshes and freshwater marshes, and they're going to be removing an invasive plant species called ice plant that comes from South Africa.
With your group, you're going to work as a team to get as much of the invasive ice plant away from the shoreline as possible and then carry it up to this point.
Then after gearing up,
Are you guys ready? Set, go! Great, you guys. So guys, we're gonna try to concentrate in one area so we can complete one area at a time and then spread out from that area.
So what's this floppy little plant here?
This is ice plant, and it's native to South Africa, and South Africa has a climate that's similar to ours, and so it thrives in this region. And as you can tell, it's created this carpet where other plants can't survive and thrive.
We're picking them out to help the native plants get their environment back.
after that job's done, it's not quitting time just yet. You can't visit a shoreline without picking up a little trash before you leave.
And then you're gonna try to pick up all the itty bitty pieces of plastic and styrofoam that a shorebird or another creature might think is food.
I'm interested in cleaning up the environment and making sure the earth is not polluted.
At the end of the day, it's about connecting with nature and a whole lot more.
They are going to be making really tough decisions for our future. It's very humbling to know that this program might be a really small influence or a really large influence and that impacts them in making positive decisions and protecting the environment in the future.
Oh, cool. Look what I found, a bunch of starfish. I like this one.
That's awesome. Look at this decorator crab I found. It's covered in barnacles and stuff.
I've never seen anything like that.
Well, we'll have more from the rocky shore coming up next.
Plus,
we're really concerned about what's going on out in the ocean with all the trash and what it's doing to all the critters.
We're setting sail on a mission to keep plastic out of our ocean.
And later,
This is a fully electric vehicle. There's no combustion happening in this car.
it's a better way to put your pedal to the metal. More Eco Company is next. Hey, looks like my friend followed me over here.
We're back at the Rocky Shores exhibit at the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
And I can't wait to take a look around, so let's take it outside to Brendan and Jessica.
Hey guys, we're checking out the Monterey Bay, a national marine sanctuary.
more than 30 species of marine mammals live in or pass through these waters.
Yeah, seals, otters, even a whale if you're lucky to spot it.
But there's a big danger floating out there for all of them, and we're setting sail to find out what it is.
Welcome aboard the Derek M. Bayless, a research vessel setting sail with some special researchers on board.
We're very excited to have you guys with us today.
These middle school students are getting their sea legs thanks to the Young Women in Science program run by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. At the helm of this voyage, Captain Dave Robinson.
Thank you so much for having us aboard. So what do you do exactly?
Well, we're really concerned about what's going on out in the ocean with all the trash that's ending up in the ocean and what it's doing to all the critters. And what we're trying to do is pick up all the trash that we find out here.
Today, these young sailors are a part of that mission. It all starts with a look at some of the marine life they're protecting.
We're going to put this plankton net in the water.
It means getting their hands wet too.
You're going to hold this top here really, really tightly, and you are going to open it. You're going to unscrew it, okay? Give this to Christine, and Christine is going to put it under the video microscope. We've got lots of different types. I'll come over here and dig through the kelp and see if we can find some critters. These actually are little animals called bryozoans.
Everything about this trip teaches them about ocean life and why it's important to protect.
Sea otters were hunted. Anybody know why people would hunt? For their fur. Is their fur super thick? Super thick. And we've actually got a sea otter on cue.
They won't biodegrade.
It isn't long before a piece of trash makes an appearance.
¿Dónde lo ponemos? Where should we put it? ¿Quién me quiere ayudar?
You can give it to Martine. He's marking it on the GPS.
So that's where we found our trash. It says cigarette butt.
So you saw us capture it on the machine. The next step is to make the big map so we can all see where the trash is.
That's what you see here.
What we've got is a map that's a compilation of all the debris that we've picked up out here. And we've used those points, we've plotted them via the GPS. And what we're trying to figure out is where exactly the trash is coming from.
What are some of the things that you find?
Some of the most common things that we're finding are plastic bags, plastic water bottles, things like cigarette butts.
Plastic is a big problem. Scientists estimate that up to 1 million seabirds and 100,000 marine mammals die from eating plastic every year.
What we've got right here is a great representation of the gut content of one single baby albatross.
Oh wow, just one?
Just one. And if you notice, there's a lot of one-time use disposable plastic items in here.
I can't believe having that inside me.
It's incredible, and imagine you wouldn't be hungry if your stomach was full of this, would you? And that's how they starve to death. And that's why we're working so hard to try and figure out the sources of all this trash, and also to try and help educate the public on what they can do to be better stewards of our oceans.
Now we're gonna find out where all the plastic is coming from. Let's go.
You don't have to go far to find out where all that trash is coming from. You guessed it, it's coming from us. The average person tosses out about 5 pounds of trash every day. A lot of that is plastic. These girls are on a mission to stop plastic and other trash from getting even close to the water.
Well, we are looking at the wharf and kind of mapping out where there are garbage bins and recycling bins. We noticed that there was a lot of garbage cans, but no recycling bins. We need one more, Vanessa.
Trisha Moneypenny is an education specialist for the aquarium. She says later they'll be back to talk to businesses about making changes.
Up and down the wharf, all the little chowder samples typically have been plastic. We're seeing that starting to change over now, and actually the girls just went and took a picture of a biodegradable cup for a sample, which is awesome to see, but just last year it was all plastic. And that ends up right in the bay.
That's what these guys don't want. So they're headed now to the beach for trash duty. From throwing our trash away and keeping it off our beaches, to dishing it out of our oceans, and keeping marine animals safe. It's all about keeping what's on land out of here.
And for healthy oceans, we've got to live healthier lives on land.
A win-win for us and the planet.
All right, time for another aquarium factoid. During the day, the aquarium pumps in filtered seawater so we can see the exhibits.
But at night, it's filled with raw seawater that's filled with food that fish love to eat.
Up next, something else these fish would smile about. A clean, green car. We're taking it for a ride next.
Oh my gosh, I see a harbor seal.
Yeah, there he is.
You know, one big threat to all marine life out here is global warming.
Ocean waters can retain a lot more heat than the atmosphere, so higher temperatures could disrupt ocean ecology.
One way to protect our oceans is to change what we drive.
Adam's behind the wheel of a clean, green car of the future.
Check out my sweet new ride. This is a hydrogen fuel cell car. So what's so cool about that? We're gonna go find out.
It's a car of the future. Only here, that future is now. This is the California Fuel Cell Partnership, a place that spent the past 10 years working to get these babies to the market.
The Electron.
Catherine Dunwoody is the executive director.
This is a fully electric vehicle. There's no combustion happening in this car, so there's no emissions.
It's simple. These cars don't use fossil fuels, so they don't pollute. And here's the proof. That's water you see coming out of the tailpipe.
Fuel cell vehicles are one way that we can address a lot of different issues that face our world today. They can reduce our dependency on oil, they can improve our local air quality so we can all breathe easier, and they can help us address global climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
So, what is hydrogen? It's the simplest gas known to man.
Hydrogen is very safe. In fact, we use a lot of hydrogen today. Most of the hydrogen that we use in our country is used to make gasoline.
In this case, hydrogen is used to carry electricity, and it doesn't need much help to do it.
A fuel cell is an electrochemical device that actually takes hydrogen from a fuel tank on board the vehicle, combines it with oxygen from the air, and produces electricity as you drive the car.
So this car has no engine.
Right, this does not burn any fuel. What happens is the electricity that's generated from the fuel cell stack travels up to kind of the brains of the system, which tells the electricity where to go. So most of the electricity here is going to go to the electric motors to drive the car. And so there is no engine, it's all electric drive, electric motors, very efficient. So you don't have to plug in a fuel cell to recharge it, you simply refuel with hydrogen. As long as there's hydrogen in the tank, the fuel cell will create the electricity.
Okay, now for the not so hard part. How to fill her up.
You just open up the fueling area and it looks a little different than the connector you see on a gas car. This is actually a totally sealed connection, so there won't be any vapors released, there's no smell, there's no drips with this fuel. What we do is we just take the nozzle off the station, and you can see this too looks a little different. It's going to form a tight seal so the hydrogen can go directly into the tank. Just lock this thing on, and the fueling begins.
Whoa. Now the big question, why we aren't seeing more of these on the roads. For one, fuel cells still cost a lot to produce, and you have to produce a lot of them to fuel big fleets of cars. They want to make storage more lightweight too. Automakers expect to see a lot more of these on the roads by 2015.
Well, I think what's most interesting for young people is to see the future of driving, and that these are the cars that perhaps not right when you get your driver's license, but down the road as young adults and as you start building your families and your careers, you will be driving or can be driving hydrogen fuel cell vehicles.
So it's time for me to do some zero emissions driving. I'm Adam with Eco Company, and I'll catch you later. Well, that's it for us this week. Thanks for tuning in.
A special thanks to the Monterey Bay Aquarium for showing us around.
Check out our website at ecocompany.tv for more info on the show.
And of course, don't forget to upload your videos. You might see them on the air.
We'll see you next time.